Hello. In this presentation, I want to focus on applying sociological theory and concepts to illustrate the relevance of the sociological course content to my personal life. Before I closely examine how the constructs apply to my life, I want to define the key terms. From my perspective, the term sociology refers to the science that focuses on describing and comprehending general principles that underline my social life and the knowledge and experiences that comprises all social phenomenon in my life. Sociology is the field of social science that studies human societies, cultures, human interaction, patterns of social relationships, and social behaviors together with the processes necessary for preserving these patterns, behaviors, and interactions. Sociological imagination is the firework of comprehending social realities in one's life to place their personal experiences and worldviews within a broader historical and social context. The concept of sociological imagination was coined by C. Wright Mills, a pioneer sociologist who described it as the awareness of the connection between an individual's experiences and behavior in their larger culture that shapes their perspective and choices. In the context of sociology, social forces are the human created patterns of behavior, ways of doing things, and elements of social entities that influences or impacts how people behave, think, act, and relate to and interact with others. They are societal components, culture patterns, and social influences that put pressure on individuals to select one choice over the other. Now I want to consider how sociology is significant in my life, in my personal life. Now I want to consider how sociology is significant in my personal life. Essentially, I consider sociology important in my life because it enables me to comprehend and extend my sociological imagination. This is by studying sociological theory and concepts, and establishing how they relate to my real life experiences, perceptions, and worldviews. In other words, sociology presents me the opportunity to leverage principal knowledge and anthropological tools to comprehend sociological theory and how it explains humans' actions while fostering sociological imagination. Furthermore, sociology raises my awareness of how social forces in my personal life influences my behavior, actions, and ways of thinking. Sociology is also relevant and significant in my personal life, because it helps unify my knowledge of diverse social phenomenon, cultures, and social structures to comprehend my societals. I want to specify that my sociological imagination can be implied in 3 ways to help me comprehend the impact of sociology in my own life. First, my sociological imagination provides meet with the sociological foundation for visualization, examining, and critiquing the context of my decision-making behaviors. Enables me to make self-aware decisions without being persuaded by prevailing social norms. Second, I could apply my sociological imagination to investigate how historical happens, and my sociological imagination help, and also my sociological imagination helps me re-examine my life and personal social cultural issues to regulate them with history and societal structures. Third, I could apply my sociological imagination to examine the connection between the social forces and social characteristics and in my personal encounters, eventually allowing me to be now that I specify how my sociological imagination could assist me in understanding the impact of sociology in my own life, I look at the relationships between individual and society. From my stance, the individual is the basic unit of society, just like the cell is the basic unit of life. I consider society in non-existent if the now that I specify how a sociological imagination could assist me in in understanding the impact of sociology in my own life, I look at the relationships between individuals and society. From my stance, the individual is the basic unit of society, just like the cell is the basic unit of life. I consider society as non-existent in the individual if the individual is absent. So the individual acts and lives within society, but the society is nothing without a component effect of individuals. I also want to examine and discuss examples of my individual behaviors and personal experiences that I carry significance in the micro level in my life. One example of these experiences is that I find myself reading inspirational books that I feel enriches my connection to, enriches my connection to, and enriches my connection and relationships with my immediate family. I also want to examine and discuss examples of my individual behaviors and personal experiences that carry significance at the micro level in my life. One example of these is that I find myself reading more inspirational books that I feel enrich my connections with my family. The second example of my micro level behaviors involves sharing challenges and difficult situations with my circle of peers. I acknowledge that the group dynamics and conversations an individual has within their individual group comprises micro level behaviors that are essential in society. The third example entails my emotional expression aimed peers as they share their touching stories and life experiences. At this point, I want to reflect on how sociological theory and research can be used to help me understand the relationship between the individual and society. Essentially, sociological theory and research can be applied to explain and clarify the connection between social phenomenon and human behaviors and actions between the society where they live. Social phenomenon include, in my opinion, sociological theory that can best be used to understand the relationships between individual and society is structured functionalism. The reason is that it emphasizes the formal ordering of parts. And in my opinion, the sociological theory that can best be used to understand the relationships between individuals and society. In my opinion, the sociological theory that can best be used to understand the relationships between individual and society is structural functionalism. The reason is that it emphasizes the formal ordering of parts and how they function. In their function, interrelationship compute. In my opinion, the sociological theory that can best be used to understand the relationships between individuals and society is structural functionalism. The reason is that it emphasizes the formal ordering of parts and how their functional interrelations contribute to maintaining the needs of a structured societal system. Structural functionalism focuses on how each part of society functions together to contribute to society's functioning of the whole. Finally, the research methodology that can best be used to understand the relationships between individuals and society is qualitative qualitative. Finally, the research methodology that can best be used to understand the relationships between individuals and society is qualitative. The reasons is that a qualitative research approaches entitles naturalism inquiries into comprehending social phenomenon within their natural setting. I chose this methods because they are easy to implement yet generally great. I chose these methods because they are easy to implement, yet generally greater details of the relationships between individuals and society. Thank you for your time.